I want to talk about religion in this one, and this is just like a personal opinion piece for me, but I do have a kind of unique experience with how I grew up. But I really do believe that there are quite a lot of bad people that use religion as a mask to like try to hide their true selves. And I've been to a couple of different churches and experienced a few different things, but these people always look like, without fail, they are they're like the people who only give a shit about their self-image. They're always the first to show up to church. They're always in the front row of church. And you just get this like weird feeling about them. Like they don't actually care about you. It's like they're literally just there to preserve their own image. And it's just, I've always found it really funny because like I experienced this in Mormonism a lot, especially like where I grew up. I grew up in this really small little valley in Wyoming before internet or everything or anything, when the majority of the people were Mormon in this valley. So it was like really easy to assume, especially without internet or phones. Like we had iPods and stuff. We didn't have smartphones. So it's like easy to assume that the whole world's Mormon. And then you get out of it and it's like, I mean, we obviously had ideas because we'd have internet and stuff in school, but it was just an interesting upbringing. But this is something that I constantly saw in the Mormon church, and it's something that really, really bothered me. Because like if you think about how Jesus like lived his life and how these people are supposed to be living their life and embodying the doctrine that of how he lived, he didn't live like that. He was always out helping the poor and the sick and in those communities with other people and trying his best to help everyone. And it's just a totally different mindset than the people who think they're better than everyone else at the front row of church are. I just really think that like people use religion as a mask to hide the nefarious parts of themselves. So it's something to be very cautious about. And I ended up going through like an 8-year period of atheism pretty hard, where I actually studied mostly science in school, because it was really it was like reality shattering for me, really, to kind of like get out of all of it. And just, I always kind of in my heart knew that wasn't right, at least for me. And I just had to like pick up the pieces. And for me, it was figuring out how life on this planet and in this system works. But I've ultimately come to the conclusion that no one can tell you about your personal relationship with God except for you and God. And I also think that, like I've said this a lot in conversation over the last few years, that I really do believe that religion is the human error in spirituality. But I'm curious what you guys think. Have you seen this in other like religions? Because I know it's pretty common in Mormonism, but just let me know. Thanks.